Okay, so let's get started. Hi, everyone, and thank you for joining us for this free webinar of MapStore that is part of the GeoSolutions instructional webinar series on open source software products, including GeoServer, GeoNode, and MapStore. Today we will see MapStore at work with special insight of an interesting use case for MapStore at Nordiq Group, our Danish partner that will talk today about the experience they have with GeoServer and MapStore. In fact, they created a downstream project, downstream product based on MapStore, which is getting some good traction in the Danish market for local authorities. So before we start with this, I would like just to provide you a very quick introduction to GeoSolutions. For those of you not familiar with GeoSolutions, we are in the business from 2006 with our efforts specially focused on open source products, which are MapStore, GeoServer, and GeoNode. We are in the core. We are the core developers for all of these applications, as well as the involved fundamental technologies behind the scenes. Well, our services are including enterprise support services and commercial support for those open source products. We do subscription deployments and professional trainings and custom development based on those open source products as well. We have a wide range of clients in different industries around the world for which we provide support services, and we develop customized solutions, also integrating with their own technology stacks, effectively supporting many scenarios, as you can easily see from these slides in multiple industries. In terms of industry associations and affiliations, we are, of course, involved on the open source Geo, the OGC, where we usually participate in lots of testbed and working groups. We are also a member of the United States Geospatial Intelligence, and we are certified cesium developers for, at least, of course, for lollies, usually involving the MapStore 3D. And last but not least, also member of the World Geospatial Industry Council. We actively participate with our internal teams in all the above mentioned open source projects as our core members and committers, of course, simply put. So let's first provide a brief introduction to MapStore to introduce the product, at least, and its high-level capabilities to those of you who are not too familiar with it. MapStore is a WebGIS application, of course, licensed under simplified BSD license. Its main purpose is to provide tools to create, manage, and share various kind of resources, such as maps, dashboards, and geographic stories online. It's built to consume many kind of data sources, working on top of OGC standards, mainly, and the framework developed with React is designed to be agnostic to provide support to different mapping engines. Its theming system finally allows powerful ways to customize the look and feel, to easily adapt it to branding colors and themes where MapStore need to be embedded or used. So MapStore is a really powerful WebGIS indeed that provides an extremely wide range of operational employment opportunities. It is a product, our flagship, of course, for managing and visualizing cartographic information, both in 2D and 3D, You can effectively use it as is in a few steps, for example, by simply customizing the look and feel. And this way, you will have a ready-to-use open source WebGIS with many features available right out of the box, with tools and capabilities that will allow you to you and your organization to cover as many use cases. Again, MapStore can be easily extended, and its environment and application context can be well configured and enriched with additional and customized settings aimed at achieving mapping goals, of course. Furthermore, the compatibility with OGC standards ensure a really good interoperability skills. So saying that, MapStore is also a framework. Many of you probably already know that. You can develop with it, and you can use its components, utilities, and APIs to implement your own WebGIS application and our tools to achieve your specific mapping goals practically. Thanks to the downstream project system, it is possible to create your own project-based, MapStore-based in a few steps, and set it up to start working with it. Furthermore, the MapStore extension system provides you a controlled way to develop your own extensions as a new plugins to add to MapStore at runtime. Well, here we can see which are some of the usual and most common contexts where MapStore is used as a WebGIS, of course. This graph collects what comes from the GeoSolutions experience, of course, but not only. We can start from fields of application involving the urban planning, and citizen services, to the emergencies management, the territorial and hydrogeological assessment, as well as the oil and gas, for example. Of course, there are many other contexts not reported there, of course. The resources offered by MapStore are many. The map viewer is certainly one of the main ones. It provides a flexible and modular map visualization system that can cover many different cases, starting from simple and minimal maps embedded in a portal to advanced viewers for analyzing and managing complex mapping scenarios, for example. If we would, if we wanted to provide a high-level overview of its main capabilities, we could certainly list the ones reported in these slides. The most part of it, if not all of them, can be, of course, combined together for various objectives, of course. For sure, the possibility to connect to various data sources for both 2D and 3D, where an advanced styling system and annotation capabilities allow to create fascinating maps. And tools, of course, are also available to support geographic operations, but also to allow data visualization, search and filtering, consultation and identification through OGC services, as well as the possibility indeed to support 3D maps and content with a really good level of interoperability. MapStore dashboards provide dedicated context of the application where various kinds of WebGIS can be combined and connected together to aggregate and consult geospatial and alphanumeric information. Also here indeed connecting data coming from different data sources, filtering, inspecting, and identifying aggregated contents, visualizing, mapping information, or well, setting up charts, counters, and more for statistical analysis and many other purposes. GeoStories are then the what I like to define. I like to define effectively the MapStore answer to the geospatial storytelling. That's thanks to the the advanced web editor, it is possible to create inspiring and immersive stories by combining geospatial information like maps with other multimedia contents like text, iframes, images, videos, and so on. Okay, with the aim to provide structured web pages where effectively different sections alternate in a continuous scrolling layout to offer an immersive and highly in-depth experience in consulting and in consulting the information to delight your audience. Finally, the application context system provides an administrative tool effectively where map viewers can be configured directly from the user interface by administrators. And thanks to a really powerful wizard, it makes possible to go through different guided steps aimed at creating map viewers in all their parts, starting from the name of the context that is included in the final context URL, to pass through the map configuration by adding basic geospatial mapping contents for the context, to final steps where it is possible to configure the set of tools to be included in the context and its theme, of course. Well, here are the main online resources that I would like to highlight in this presentation to allow you to learn more about MapStore and, of course, to stay in touch with us, but also with the community of both users and developers of MapStore. To consult our YouTube channel, where we usually publish contents also coming from webinars we organize, and last but not least, to reach the online documentation, of course, that we keep updated at every release. So let's finish now, since this introduction, since I would like to effectively leave the room to Nordiq and Morten Blemmer to we have here, and finally see what they made with MapStore. Thank you so much for attending again.
Thank you, Tobias. I will just share my screen.
Yes.
Hopefully you can see it now.
Yes.
Very good. Thank you, Tobias. It was a nice introduction to MapStore, and we have been using MapStore in Nordiq Group. We are a small company, or middle-sized company, with around 50 people, and we work with mostly the governmental institutions like municipalities, the state, regions, and we also sometimes work with private companies. I am the team leader of the GIS team, which is 7 people, and we have been working a lot with MapStore, and as you can see here, one of the things that we have changed a lot is the appearance and the theming of MapStore. So since 2020, we have been using MapStore, but over the last couple of years, we have invested heavily in develop a Danish version of MapStore. Within that, we have done a translation, and we have done plugins for the public sector of Denmark, and we have been integrating to a lot of Danish services and stuff like that, and that's what I will go through today. So we see an opening in the Danish market, and in Denmark there is already a big use of open source GIS software. Yeah, and we released our first version of MapStore. I think it was in September, and now we have 3 Danish municipalities using MapStore, and of course there are a lot of other municipalities looking our way, I think. So yeah, I think it's going pretty well. As you said, we are definitely going into the market. Today I will talk about Denmark and a little bit about GIS in Denmark. Then I will go through a building case where we're going to pretend that we are a caseworker in a municipality. And afterwards, we will take a different case where we are still a caseworker, but we will do a public announcement and how to do that. First, a little bit about Denmark. We are a very small country and around 6 million people. There are 98 municipalities. It's around 42,000 square kilometers, and the coastline is very long. So there's no high places in Denmark. We have no mountains or something like that. So I think the coastline is actually longer than India's compared to how you measure it probably, but it's very long, and so it's a very flat land. We have a huge public sector. We also have many laws, and I mean that in a good way. In this case, it's there's a lot of regulation. We will get into that later on. But for instance, if you need to build a house or something like that, then there are many regulations and things you have to consider before doing that. And that's exactly why we have this case later on. And Denmark is a very small country, which also means that it's totally over-registered. So everything is registered, kinda. I think since the Second World War, the UK have been using Denmark as a place for training of doing auto photos. So they have been doing that for many years. So we have a huge amount of data that goes way back actually. So and since 2013, data has been freed and open from the public sector, and that's all the basic data like parcels and persons. Of course, you have to have the rights to see like social security numbers and stuff like that, and properties and companies. And we also have free digital elevation models, and you can get land use, and all planning data is free, environmental data is free, and I think for a couple of years ago, meteorological data was also free. So all and there are many more data as well. So, and a lot of the data sources are centralized. And it's in national-wide databases, and that means that it's the same for every municipality really. If you go in, then they will have, of course, they have a subset of data which are their own and stuff like that. But there are many public services. In fact, there are over 2,000 free public VMS, VFS services. And yeah, so OGC has been a huge success in Denmark. And yeah, that's a lot of data. So we have also been integrating MapStore to a lot of these data sources. And yeah, mostly using VMS, VFS services. And all the big agencies are providing different GIS services, whether they are based on GeoServer, MapServer, ArcGIS server, whatever, right? If we look into the WebGIS market, as I said, this is a little old. I think maybe it was from the start of the year, because now we have 3 municipalities using MapStore. But otherwise, we have some local players which are really big in the WebGIS market. and that is Sweco Spatial Suite and also some other tools as well, as you can see. But the thing is that WebGIS in a municipality in Denmark is a very important tool. It's the main GIS tool. I would say that probably around 80% of the people using GIS in a municipality in Denmark are probably using a WebGIS solution. So WebGIS solution is the main solution for GIS. I mean, if you go in as a caseworker, for instance, your main objective is not to do GIS, it's to get the information you need and to put it into your case and then finish the case, I would say, right? Yes. So let's go to it, get to it. The first thing is the building case. So now we are playing that we are a caseworker in a Danish municipality of Albertslund. We have got a building application from an owner in this address, and they want to build a new house and tear down the old one. It's pretty common to do that, and they want to locate it on a different place in the parcel. So the owner have sent a lot of information about the new building, and we are now the caseworker who needs to solve this, to see if there's anything in this process where they might meet some restrictions. So the first thing to do is to find the address, and we have integrated to the national search service called GeoSearch, and we have also integrated into another search service called Septima Search. So, and beside that, MapStore is also integrated as a standard into OpenStreetMap, where you can search all of the in all the world, but here we're just searching in Denmark, and this is the official one, so it's the one they want to use. After we have searched the address, we can choose a tool called property. It's called for ejendom in Danish, but it's a property tool where you can just press somewhere in the map and you can point out each property, and then you will get information about this property. In this case, we will do it live in a moment. We can see some information like this is like apartments, and this is like the main building of this property, and then you have the parcel and which addresses, and also if we have access to the residents, we could also see who actually lived there. But that will be most in this demo. There will be no residents in this case. The information that you get from the tool is like the owner, the property ID, and the owner's address and relations and so on. And regarding parcels, you will know the name of the parcel, the district, and the area, and so on. And address is more like the road name and stuff like that. And people will contain name, age, gender, address, and so on, social security number. So that's also one of the reasons that we cannot show it here, because yeah, it's not public data, all of it. After that, we can do a further investigation. We have integrated into Oblique Photos. That's a Danish service. Actually, in Denmark, we get Oblique Photos with second year, I think, new Oblique Photos of all of the country. So it's easy to integrate to. And in the bottom, it's like you could use Google Street View. In this case, we have used another integration that we have created to COVID Street View. And they are running, I think, also every second year in Denmark as well. And another thing that you will be able to do in the future is also 3D. Next year, I think the Governmental Institute will of Climate Data, it's called in Denmark, will provide a national-wide 3D model in vector in 3D tiles for all of Denmark. So that would be nice as well. So we will have even more data. So we are getting a lot of data for free all the time in Denmark. So not for free, but paid by tax, I would say, right? Good. So when we are doing a case like this in Denmark, there are lots of regulation. In this demo, I've just pointed out 4 layers that could be where there could be some restrictions. So for instance, in Denmark, we have something called church building lines, which means that if you build within 300 meters of a church, then there are some restriction about how high you can build your buildings and stuff like that. The same goes for forests. If you are 300 meters within a forest, then there are some regulations as well about how to build. Then there are, of course, local development plans that restricts a lot of things, and you should follow those plans as well. And last, you can have like a development area. And actually, there can be many more, but this is just for the demo, so I have just pointed out these four. And I am not a caseworker, if you ask me. So I don't know much about the regulations and stuff like that in general. I mean, I know them in general terms, but I'm not a caseworker. So for finding out about if there's any conflict or if there's any regulations here that we meet, then we have created a tool called Geometry Search. And what it does, it's used by the caseworkers to support the decision. So it intersects with layers using a search geometry. And lastly, you can create a report with the result. And it's pretty easy to maintain this tool and add new layers because it's just a special map type. Yes. So you activate the tool by selecting it from the toolbar, and then you choose from the drop down which one you want to do, and it's just you can make like for planning and for environmental data, and this is for this building case. So that's a really common analysis to do. And then you can either draw a geometry, or you can select as a geometry from the map. If you draw, you have different options. You can draw a point, you can draw a line, or you can draw a polygon. As you can see here, I've just been drawing a polygon. And if we take the other way, you can just point out or pick out geometries in the map based on the layers that are visible. And then they need to be searchable as well. We use the VFS corresponding to the VMS service in this case to get the geometry. If you point out multiple geometries, they will merge into a single geometry. Yeah, and from the list, it's also possible to delete features. I will show that in a moment. Afterwards, you get the preview of the results. Are there any hits? Are there any layers without any hits? And you can filter the result. You can go down and see all the information within the hits. And afterwards, you can create a report, and that's also very important actually because this report can be added to the case management system, the electronic case management system. So you can, and they're stored there for like 5 years. So they have like documentation. So it's mostly for documentation really. And the report is also a snapshot of things as they were at the moment that the report was created, right? So it's very important that the decision is based on the report, so it's very important to have the documentation of how things were at the moment. So that's why you can add them in the case management system as a caseworker. And as I said earlier, it's very easy to just create a new geometry search report, and usually they are within when you're doing like stuff with nature, or you have cases with buildings or with climate or environment or road management and many more. I think most municipalities in Denmark probably have like 20 different kind of search geometry searches, something like that. So now I'll just switch over to the system to just show you how it looks in real life. So this is our demo site, and it's not publicly available at the moment, but I'm logged in as an administrator, as you can see. And what you can see here is the first thing, if you know MapStore beforehand, you will notice is that the look and feel is a little different. We have been using a lot of time doing a different layout and using the theming capabilities as Tobias mentioned earlier. So, and we have also added some new buttons like new geometry search, and that's the one that we're going to look at right now. So I will just go into the map that I have created for this webinar and just go through the things that we just saw in the presentation. So we are now the caseworker, and we want to find an address. In this case, it was Hersted Østervej Gade, sorry, number 2. So I'll just go to that address. You can see I have created the map, and I have gotten some building information data, some planning data, some property data in here as well. So I can just switch on the parcels, and I can get some information about this parcel if I want to. Yeah, one of the things you also might see is that we have created a tool for doing templates pretty easy as well, but I will go into that later. So here I have like the property information button. So I will just press that button, and as you can see, I can press everywhere in the map. When I press this, I get this information about this property, and I can see that in this case it's just an unknown owner. But here I have like a name and stuff like that. I can see what is the percentage of the ownership of this. And this is, by the way, a flat in this building, I think. And this down here is the parcel, where I get the parcel information, the district code and the area and so on, if there's any road area within this and so on. And this is like the addresses. So this property has 2 addresses, number 2 and number 4. And yeah, then again, I can just see some information about this address. And if we had some residents if we had data for residents, we would also be able to see that. But it's actually in the customer side, it will be based on the what is called it will be based on the rights that you have as a user. I mean, if you don't have the right to see the residents, then you will not see this actually. So yeah, that's how it is. But I'm in here as an administrator with all the rights, and we don't have any demo data here. So that's it. After that, I can inspect the building. I can, for instance, take the Covey Street View, and I can just place it outside here. And then now I'm actually going into their system, but you can see it's a building like this. I could also switch on, of course, the orthophoto, but it's a building like this, and this will be the same if it's Google Street View or Mapillary or whatever I use as a street photo. I will just, and to look even more at the building, we can press this oblique photos, and I can just go to this. And unfortunately, I have some things in my computer, so I will just take another browser. I don't know why it's not working in this browser, but it's working in Firefox for some reason. There must be something wrong with my computer. But here you can see I have the property as well. Yeah, maybe it's not working. There have been some problem with this. Yeah, okay. But you get the idea. It's just oblique photos, so I can go in and investigate the property even more to see how is it looking, how big is it, do we expect anything other than whatever, right? You want to see. So let's go back. Sorry. So, and now when I have done that, I want to see if there's any conflicts in my geometry search. So the geometry search is this tool we have here for generating the report. I could easily also just put in other things. In planning, I can see that I have a local development plan as well here. Yeah, if it's working. That was. So I could do that manually by turning on all the layers that I wanted to look at and see if they were hitting this parcel specifically. But another way to do it is using this geometry search tool. So if you have to do this many times, then it's easier just to have a tool to do it, right? And that's what this is for. So I have created this building case, and I can now draw a geometry. I can just select a geometry in the map. And since my parcels is now visible, I can just pick this one. I can also pick other ones as well, and it will merge, but I can also remove them again. In this case, I'm only interested in this parcel. So, and when I'm done with finding all the finding my geometry, I can press the search. And in this case, we only have 4 layers that we are searching through. And I have 2 layers with hits, and it's the local development plan and it's the church building lines. So I didn't hit any development area, any forest building lines in this case. So here I can just go through the results fast to see if it's as I expected. I have a link as well here directly to the plan itself, the local plan, and of course this is in Danish, so you cannot read it. Maybe some of you can, but and it seems like it's a pretty old plan, but yeah, there might be some restrictions regarding when you need to build something here in this case. And I can see whatever, there's a maximal building density of 25%, so the building cannot be bigger than filling out this 25%. There can be many restrictions. I will not go into details about what kind of restrictions there are. But we also did hit a church building line, and that means that you cannot build too high. I think I can't remember, but maybe it's like 6 meters or something like that. So you cannot build anything higher than that, I would say, something like that, or maybe it's 8 meters. I can't remember. So yeah, so this is the restriction that we're meeting. So now I can just create the report. And it will open up a new tab in your browser, and you can print the report as a PDF and save it on in your case system. And this is just how the report looks. And you get all the information about how things were at the moment they were created. And yeah, that's kind of, I will not save it here, but yeah, it's also just a website in reality. Yes. So this is going a little faster than I expected. Good. Okay, maybe we can use a little time then to show how to create this actually. Because as I mentioned earlier, now I'm in the front page. You can see that I have these geometry searches. And this is actually the list that we saw before. So say that we wanted to create a new geometry search. I would just press this button, and actually the geometry search is just it's just a special kind of map where you just have all the layers in here. So I can just save it and call it webinar number 2. And here I can control whoever has the rights to see this and to use this geometry search. So I just save it. And then I can just add in some layers. And as I spoke of earlier, we have a lot of different layers in Denmark and a lot of public services, and here are some of them. So for instance, if I wanted to take in the local development plans, it should be in Danish. I can just take this layer, zoom in. And I can take whatever layers I want from this service or the other services. I can just take another one as well. This is just some regional plans. I don't know what they're specifying really. Doesn't really matter. In this case, I just want to show you how it works. And here I can just easily control the template. So if the user don't need to see IDs and plan IDs, I can just switch the attributes off. I mean, this is going to the info, or I can just change the name here or say that some of it might be, this is for instance a link. I can make it a link and I can press OK here, and I can try it out on something here, and then you will see that this is how the report will look when it comes out in the other end. So this is all the fields that will be in the report in this case, and the same goes for region plans. So I'll just save this report, and it's called webinar 2. So if I go back now, I think I need to refresh. I'll just do it to be sure everything is working. And I go in here in my map that we had before. I'll just take some place, I don't know where this is. It's just for showing how it works. And I will press the geometry search, and now you can see that I have this webinar 2 report that I can create. And in this case, I would like to just draw a geometry. So I'll just draw something. And I will press the search button. And you can see actually I have 2 hits here. And this is all the results that I'm getting for the hits. That I have hit different plans, as you can see. And yeah, that's it. So that's how you maintain this report. It's pretty easy to maintain, as I spoke of earlier. And then again, I can create the report, and I can just save it on my document system again. Yeah, very good. So that's also how you maintain this as well. Good. This is going way faster than I expected. That's good. Then I can just show some other things as well, maybe. To the next case, I will just go back into to presentation mode. So now we want to do like a public announcement, and that is one of the other tools that we have created for the Danish public sector. So now we are a utility company, and we want to roll out district heating in a settlement, and contact all the owners and companies and residents within the area. The area that I will find is located in Odense. It's because we have some demo data there. And we will then use the report that we are now creating to send letters to all the owners and administrators and so on, right? And the tool that we have created for this is called distribution list. And what it will do is it will generate an Excel file, and the Excel file can then be used in third-party tools for like sending mails or sending emails to all the people in the list. So once again, you can set up how the list should work. But in this case, we will just look at residents, owners, companies, administrators, and maybe some other ones as well. And it's pretty easy to set up as well. Not as easy as the report, but it can be set up as well. So first we press the tool out here, and then again I choose which distribution list I want to create. They might have different configurations. So one can maybe just be the residents, another one can be the owners, and maybe have done a combined one for district heating, a special one for taking out the people that we need to address in this case. So once again, when I have chosen my distribution list, I can either draw a geometry or I can select a search geometry in the map. When I'm drawing, it's the same as before, you can see here. And once again, I can also just point out an area. And again, it's the same tool as before. You point out from the visible layers, and they need to be searchable, of course. And if I point out multiple geometries that will merge together into a single one, I can still remove the ones from the list, so it remembers, of course, the ones that I have. Yeah. Afterwards, I will get a warning. Usually, this contains like secret data that need restricted data. So you need to be very aware of what you're doing with this data if you are a caseworker. So this is just a warning for the caseworker. Afterwards, the system will generate the Excel report, and I can download the Excel report, and I will get a list with the front page, and then I will get different other pages as well, as you can see down here, with citizens and so on. So a list could be like this, and we can configure how it should be, which columns we need in this case. Good. Let me just show that live as well. So let's just start over. I will go to the municipality of Odense. It's where we have the demo data in this case. I will take in our planning data. We have some planned some areas where there are plans for which kind of heating they have, and in this case it's district heating. So if I just start out by do info on this, I can see that this is the Danish name for district heating. So the type here they want is district heating. And honestly, I don't know if they have district heating here already, or if it could be that they have planned it, or it can also be that it's already there. I'm not really sure. But in any case, what we want to do is we want to find all the people that are living within this area, and all the owners of buildings as well, and all the companies within this area as well. So I press this distribution list tool, and here I can take that. This is like residents over 18 years, and this is like owners, and this is just some demo ones. But you can make a huge list if you want of different kinds of reports that you want. But then I will take the district heating that I have created for this case, and in this case I will also just take a geometry from the layer. So I'll just do it like that. I will press next, and now you will see that that what I'm getting here is a warning about how I should contain all these data, because when I press the generate distribution list, I will actually get the link to a list that might contain some problematic data. And of course, in this demo, it's just demo data, so there's no problematic data in here at all. So it's pretty fast. Now it's generated. I want to download it. Yes. And I can save it. And this is the front page. This is the citizens, the companies, the owners, the administrators, and so on. So if I just press one of them, I can see all the residents in here and see their age and their social security number. This is again just test data, the house number, the municipality name, and so on. Yeah. And the same goes for companies and owners and administrators and owners and administrators. So you can see you can have different kind of ways of setting up this, so you will get whatever you need in this case. And it's also very used not only for public announcement, but also if you have if you are the municipality wants to create like a new plan, then they have to hear the people within the area, both the people, the owners, and the companies as well. And then you might say something about the new plan, and you will have the opportunity to say something against the new plan if you want to. But that will be a hearing. So that is what it's mostly used for in Denmark, actually, I think. But you can also use it for public announcements as well. That was pretty much faster than I expected. So I'm pretty much done now showing everything. So I don't know, Tobias. Should I show?
Yeah, I mean, if you want, I mean, it is not a problem if you have, I don't remember if you have a few more slides before completing the presentation. Well, otherwise, I mean.
No, I don't have any more slides.
Okay.
That's kind of it.
Okay, anyway, thank you so much for this really interesting presentation. I mean, really powerful and also, I would say, effective with an interface also, a user interface also quite well organized, in my opinion. What to say? I mean, this is a really good example, I will say, of how MapStore can be customized and also used in the real world, for real use case scenarios, effectively answering to needs that are quite common. Usually are quite common for municipalities. I think, no.
I think so.
And well, on another side, I think we are of course pleased and happy to see how it is evolving on your end, and for sure, I think that our collaboration can enrich a lot the MapStore capabilities indeed.
Yeah, sure. I think so too.
Yeah, probably that it is also I would say a good opportunity indeed for, I mean, evaluating or discussing the possibility to integrate some of the tools you have developed, at least the one that can be of general interest or that can be modulated for this purpose into the MapStore core.
Sure.
And this is also, I would say, these are, of course, my overall consideration from what I have seen so far. This is also concerning the overall look and feel, where it seems to me we have some point of contacts. I mean, as far as I can see, as we are also considering, that for the next major release to provide, well, substantial, significant updates and changes, mainly for the MapStore homepage and the way the MapStore catalog can be consulted, effectively enriching the user experience. And from what I can see, looking at your UI, there are some point of contact. I mean, and I really like the live theme you have. You guys have implemented.
Thank you. And as you guys can see, there are a lot of changes. I mean, also to the talk table of content, we have done a lot about the look and feel in that, and we have done a lot about icons also, especially. I mean, we have done a lot about the themings as well. So there are many things that we have changed and yeah.
Yeah, I mean, before answering questions of attendees, I mean, I have a couple of ones.
Sure.
So still concerning the look and feel, I mean, just to understand, to know a little bit more, how have you approached the changes to the MapStore team? If you have followed the MapStore online documentation and found benefit from it, and this look and feel, I mean, comes also from feedback, collected from your customers and things like that. I mean, just curious.
Yeah, for sure. We have used the documentation a lot, I would say. I think it's pretty good, actually, the documentation. So if you guys don't know it, Tobias, he will send out the presentation afterwards, where there were links, I think, to the documentation as well. So we have used it a lot, and we did have meetings with our customers underneath the way to make them look at it and say how they wanted it as well, and also what kind of functionalities that they needed and stuff like that. So we have been we have been looking a lot into the UX and the UI, of course. So yeah, but then again, I would say that the further away that you go from the standard, the more things that you need to change, right? So in general, if you need to change it a lot, like we did, then of course the further away you go from the standard theme, the harder it is. I would say that's the general thing in
Indeed, we spent a lot of effort during last year, years, I mean, to enrich MapStore capabilities, and we have effectively in plan for the next major releases to provide, as I said before, significant changes for the user experience, the look and feel, but also for a renewal in general of the MapStore layout, which is that will be, I mean, a significant work that we have effectively considering to implement for the next major releases. So for sure, what we are doing for the overall look and feel and the MapStore on page will put the basis for this, of course. The other question I have, just, I mean, to understand if you are working essentially on top of OGC services. I don't remember if you have already mentioned this during the presentation. I'm sorry about that if yes, but if you are working on top of OGC services, or have you developed or integrated also custom or third-party web services specific for the purpose of your tools?
Yeah, sure, we have. Actually, we have created something we call, there are many ways to do this, and we have actually done something, I would say, which is a little different than MapStore is working right now. As you can see here, we have this catalog with all these data, and actually what we do in reality is that we have a GeoServer in our servers, and then we are just using it as a proxy for getting a lot of these data in. And the reason for doing that is that then I mean, as you guys probably know, a lot of things don't have nice names in services, and they don't have nice attributes as well. So for instance, if I take this planning data, if I took it directly, it will probably, the names would not be nice straight away. So what we did was we run it through our GeoServer to give it nice names and make it look good in reality. So in our service, we have like I think we have 1,000 layers right now where we do that, something like that. And another thing that we also did with the catalog here was actually we provided a new type of service, which is I don't know if it's working here. I haven't tested this. But this is it's not working. It doesn't matter. This is actually not a service. This is not a VMS or VFS. It's actually a different map. So instead of having so the map is just a service, really. Does that make sense?
Yeah, understood. You are basically, you have added a new catalog source pointing to a kind of map catalog where you can load, fetch layer from there. I mean,
yeah, it's actually just a map, so it's easy to maintain. So then the administrator can maintain one map, and the other ones can just take the layers from the map, and it takes everything as well. So
yeah, that's really interesting in my opinion. Yes, indeed. Okay. So I think we can proceed on answering the few questions we have from the attendees. So the first one we have, what can you tell about MapStore and cybersecurity, etc.? Okay. Well, we have at GeoSolutions, of course, because then there are also our clients that have their system for this. And then, of course, when we collaborate with them, there is an exchange for this. But at GeoSolutions, we have a vulnerability scan system to detect potential vulnerabilities over time. We work on an yearly basis effectively to keep MapStore updated, at least for addressing the main and high critical vulnerabilities detected over time.
Yeah, other than that, you can say that there are many features within MapStore for protecting things. Like there are many ways of integrating to different kinds of user security. For instance, there's an Active Directory integration, and there's also the possibility to integrate GeoServer directly with MapStore. So the users in MapStore and GeoServer are the same and stuff like that.
Yeah. So there's another one. Are all APSG codes supported for projections in MapStore? MapStore by default supports WGS84 and Mercator, but it can be configured, and the online documentation explains how to do this. MapStore can be configured in order to support other coordinate reference system by configuring, I mean, putting the coordinate reference system definition in the configuration file. I mean, so feel free to consult the online documentation we have for this.
Yeah, and this map you see here is actually in the Danish, in the projection that we use in Denmark. So this is not BGS 84 or something like that. This is UTM.
Okay, the next one, does MapStore support GML complex application schemas? Not yet, I would say, and meaning that it is something under discussion for some time. We have developed a custom solution in the past for one of our clients, but there is not yet a concrete schedule for integrating this on the core. I don't know if you have something to add, Morten, for this, or if you have done something on that side or not.
No, we haven't done anything for that. I think the only place where we use it is actually we use it, but it's not really complex, I would say. But we use the GeoServer as a proxy for proxying one service that has complex features. But it's not. I think. Yeah, I'm not saying. I don't think it's that complex though. That's what I'm trying to say.
Okay, let's skip to the let's jump to the other question. Congrats for your work. Thank you so much. Our technical question: the engine that handles the geospatial relations between features of different layers, intersection, within distance, etc., works on MapStore, GeoServer WPS, or database level spatial queries?
Well, the tool that you saw here, the tool right here, it actually uses intersects by VFS as a standard, I think. So it just uses a VFS service with a filter of intersect, as I recall it. Yeah. So it's pretty much standard. But yeah, there are many possibilities for coding this. It can either you can do it on the server side, but in this case we do most things front end wise, really.
Okay, thank you so much. The other one, I just came here because I saw the GeoNode system or subsystem in the list of items. Is GeoNode included on MapStore? Well, MapStore is currently using GeoNode is currently using MapStore as a WebGIS. So GeoNode is more like a complete SDI where you can publish content and manage them, giving permissions, managing different kind of resources. And for visualizing geospatial contents, GeoNode uses MapStore that is embedded in GeoNode and effectively used by default for visualizing maps, layers, data sets, and so on. We have effectively started, as I said before, a process of normalizing the look and feel and the UI, and this is of MapStore, and this will effectively touch also the GeoNode system as well. The other question, thanks. How do you load all the Danish data to MapStore? I imagine you are not doing this manually. Is there a way to keep them updated with the source at the government level?
Yeah, sure. There are. I mean, if we want to change things, like I said, like the layer names and stuff like that, then we have to do it kind of manually. But we use GeoServer as a proxy, so we don't download anything or anything like that. We just route them through a GeoServer, and then we change like attribution and stuff like that. So, but yes, there are many layers, and yes, it's hard work. Some of it are. But they don't change that much all the time. I mean, once you created the base, then the changes are a smaller part, I would say.
Okay, thank you so much. Another question, more technical, does MapStore has any kind of plugin to receive data from MQTT source? No, at the moment, no. There is no plugin for MQ telemetry. Yeah, no. At the moment, there is no plugin for this. The next one is easy to run MapStore on a no access to internet network. I'm thinking of access to base maps or library hosted on the internet. Yeah, of course. I mean, at the moment, it is not totally possible if you don't have a local source for loading mapping contents, of course. Okay, so for example, you can have a NoGC server running locally, and from which you can load contents to for your MapStore maps. Okay, the next one. Thank you very much for the presentation, Morten. You have done very good work. Are these changes available for public in part or full code, or you have in plan in future?
Well, as you said in the start, we intend to talk to you about what can be generally used, and so yeah, we intend to put some of it. It's not out yet. We just released a few months ago. So, and we are also using versions that are older than the newest MapStore version, actually. So so we have to find a good way to do that. Yeah, that's the answer for now.
Okay, thank you so much. The next one, in our SDI, we are trying to publish WFS services that comply with the Inspired directive, but we were unable to, I'm sorry, to fully validate any service against the official Inspire validator. I would like to know if you have any example of yours that meet so that I can analyze it. No, unfortunately, not right now, but I think it is probably something that can be discussed in the mailing list, just to see if there are other people that can share their experience on that and so on. Okay. It is practically to use for editing large scale. Probably it is a question for you, Morten.
Yeah. If the data is editable, what did you mean by that?
I don't know. There is an anonymous attendee. I mean, that's probably I don't know. Is it practical for to use for editing? From what we have seen, it seems yes.
Yeah. It is. I mean, you can use the. I don't know if you guys know MapStore that well, but usually you can use like a tool for the table tool, and if now it's not set up for editing, but if it was, then I can just edit the data straight away here, by going into edit mode, and then I can just edit whatever features I wanted to edit, right? So it is possible to edit data and to add new data as well. So if that was the question regarding data, then yes, you can edit data.
Yeah. Okay. Our MapStore can be used for geospatial SaaS portal. Is there an integration plugin or extension available? What I can say here, MapStore, we have, at least at GeoSolutions for our client, we have many installations implemented as a SaaS in the cloud. So this is regularly involving all our products like GeoServer, MapStore, and of course cloud services for databases and so on. But I mean, if you are talking about specific plugins or MapStore plugins or MapStore extensions, there is no something specific. I mean, usually we usually deploy as in a kind of container orchestrator and stuff like that. And I mean, usually we do this kind of setups, and we are a really good feeling with it. Thanks for the next one. Thanks for presenting. I really like the theme. Maybe I've missed it, but did you set up the MapStore project, the MapStore in project mode? Is the code repo of Nordic MapStore accessible somewhere? Probably you have already answered to this.
Yeah, I have already answered that.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay.
And it is a downstream project. So
yeah. Okay, during the question and answer, I installed a MapStore instance using the Word file and running it inside a Docker container. Is there any chance of getting a GeoNode working the same way? I tried to install and test a GeoNode instance, I think last year, and I had some difficulty regarding the GeoNode basic installation. It seems the same document I saw last year. I mean, yeah, I would like to ask you to stay in touch with the GeoNode community using the mailing list, so that you can retrieve more information and support for what you are trying to achieve. I am happy that you didn't experience any kind of problem in installing or running MapStore locally. For GeoNode is a quite different thing, because the scale of the application, I mean, is quite, and the purposes are quite different. So the environment per se, indeed, is as other, of course, different characteristics, of course. And so it is probably a little bit more, it is a setup a little bit more complex, of course. But for sure, if you can stay in touch with the MapStore, with the GeoNode community, you will receive all the information that you need, in my opinion. So no problem with this. Okay, so I think we have done, because there are no more questions.
Very good.
So thank you again, Morten, for this really interesting presentation of your use case, and I hope there will be in the future other opportunities for this kind of exchanges, and
Sure.
and so, I mean, with the aim also to enrich and share the experience we have with MapStore in real use case scenarios, I mean, effectively. Okay.
Sure.
Thank you.
Thank
Thank you
you.
so much, and thank you so much to all the attendees for participating to this MapStore webinar. So thank you so much. Have a nice day all.
Yeah, you too. See you all.
Bye bye. Bye bye.
Bye.